Okay, my friend, welcome to Module 4 of Time to Shine program. This is the self-discovery program. Have you been discovering yourself yet? Do you know yourself better? Are you ready to unleash yourself? Because Module 4 is really fun. Module 4 is called Accept and Choose. I vividly remember this phase of my life, and I would strongly encourage the book Giving Up, the Memoir of a Quitter. The whole part 4 is about accepting and choosing myself, who I am, who I'm not, my gifts, my purpose. And that's what we're doing in this part of Time to Shine. So I'm going to read this list and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. I love this list. Module 4 is about falling hella in love with yourself, leaning into joy and play, practicing flow, owning your gifts, celebrating your purpose, sharing your power, stepping into leadership, declaring and fulfilling, connecting authentically, and my favorite, laughing uncontrollably. I love this list and I love this process. I really love arriving to this point with clients in the one-on-one program. It's really beautiful because at this point, I've witnessed them come back to life in tremendous ways. And I wish that for you, whether you're doing this in the self-guided digital course or in a one-on-one course with a coach or in the Hula program. And if you're not in one-on-one or yet in Hula, I would invite you to consider it at this point because you've experienced the transformation available, and consider kicking it up a notch. Consider the reflections of a coach and the opportunity of a mastermind group of other people doing this work. It's really, really powerful. And you can go to abigailgazda.com or heartsunleashed.com to find out more information about that. You can also email us to get more information and support if you need. Let's take a look at falling hella in love with yourself. It's a really beautiful process. And I want to teach the difference between self-care and self-love. When I first heard self-care, I thought manicures and pedicures and solo movie dates and bathtubs. And yeah, that's awesome. And it felt too typical for me. But self-care in this perspective and self-love really means having boundaries and speaking your truth, maintaining your boundaries as well, speaking up, having tough conversations, treating yourself well, being kind and gentle to yourself. That was a huge transformation for me, and it was a big part of my work. I grew up as an athlete, and I really learned critical feedback. Whether I was receiving that externally or not, I really internalized it and learned how to criticize and critique myself. I thought that drove me to be better when really I had to learn simply through practice that being kind to myself was much more self-loving. And the more that I did those things, the more I loved myself, the more kind things I did for myself. It was a really upward cycle and spiral, and it was so empowering and so powerful. And I love that. And I encourage that for you. And I'm going to tell you one more story about falling hella in love with yourself, which was I was challenged in my coaching program to be on time, be 30 minutes early to every appointment I had, and to drive the speed limit for 1 month. That was the challenge. Drive the speed limit everywhere and be 30 minutes early everywhere you're going. I was habitually late for everything for my entire life. And I took that challenge that month. I did not realize that a large portion of my anxiety came from being late to everything. I didn't know that I didn't have to drive like with a tight neck and shoulders, and that I didn't have to run through the doors to get somewhere, and that I could arrive somewhere and I could park and I could walk and I could greet people and people could greet me and I could meet somebody new being early for a meeting. It was phenomenal and I loved myself. And so there's probably a lot of very subtle things that you do that aren't empowering to you, that aren't kind to you, that are very undetected by you as well. And so look around your life at different areas that you can practice some self-love in some very new ways, or some self-care in some very new ways. Leaning into joy and play. Y'all, we take life way too seriously. We take life way too seriously. This is a game. And even if it means playing the game of taxes and jobs and family and whatever, it's still a game. There are people doing a lot of the same things you are doing with a lot of the same responsibilities you have, who are having a lot more fun in life, who have a lot easier time doing the same things you're doing. And that's not a make wrong. That's not a judgment or a punishment. That is an an opportunity for a perspective shift, that you could be having way more fun in your life. You could gamify your life and have a lot more fun. I understand some of the tremendous responsibilities that some of us have and some of the terrible traumas that we have faced. And I am still talking to you too, that you too get to have more fun in life. Is very, very possible. If at this point in the program, it still feels challenging to you and you haven't had a discovery call or you haven't had a support call with a coach yet, I strongly encourage you to reach out for some coaching support to break up anything that might still be there that would disempower you or have you doubting that you could be having as much fun and freedom in life as well. Practicing flow. It's all inside of joy and play and flow. And I'd have you consider force. Where in life are you forcing and where can you practice flow? And flow is also considered faith. So at this point, where are you not practicing faith? Again, that you are supported, guided, protected, taken care of, because that's where you get to loosen up a bit, letting go of that grip on control and practicing flow. Celebrating your purpose. At Hearts Unleashed, we have a life purpose exercise that you can do with a coach. It's essential to do with the trained coach for that exercise, because if you knew your purpose, you would know it and you'd be up to it. It is something that really requires some extraction through questioning that then makes perfect sense for you and you can follow through on it. For those of you who know me, my life purpose is adventure. And when I found my life purpose, everything became an adventure. I too was way too serious about life. I am an empath. I feel everything. I have an enormous heart. Everything feels like 1,000,000 pounds to me. I was not having very much fun. I was super affected by a lot of things in life because I took everything very, very seriously. And when I realized that everything is an adventure, I leaned into joy and play. I started to practice flow. I started to find out where this adventure was taking me. The adventure of a relationship, of a job, of my finances, of whatever, of a move. Everything's an adventure. Every day, every call, even this is an adventure. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going to find out though. Even if you went on a hike and it went sideways, still an adventure, still a story to tell, right? So it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It means it's going to happen and you're going to live to tell about it. I trust that. And if you don't, that's okay too. That's the next adventure. That's how playful we get to be about this life, because you are an energetic being having a human experience. Next up, sharing your power and stepping into leadership. I want to be kind of serious about this one because stepping into your power can be scary. It can be intimidating. It can be likely that throughout your life, someone told you that being that powerful is intimidating or bitchy if you're a female, or you're an asshole if you're a man, like that you being in your power is offensive or off-putting in some way. And maybe that's not true for you. And if that's a projection on my part, then you can just set that off to the side. But most of us have deferred our power. We may have started to dim our light through life because of people's negative feedback. What I'd love to offer you is that throughout this journey, from restorative coaching to transformational coaching, you're going to step out more. And that might upset some people, especially might upset people who have learned about you that they can control you, or that they can dim your light, or that you will dim your light for them. And when you stop doing that, when you have new boundaries and you have a new permission for yourself to live out loud, people who've been able to take advantage of you being a people pleaser or getting what they want from you, when they can't do that anymore, you might get some lashback, and that's okay. It's because you've done the process of modules 1 and 2 of clearing your insecurities and your fears and your limiting beliefs that now you can stand on the foundation of who you know yourself to be and be it. And that's the next step, is stepping into your leadership, being a leader of light and love and possibility, that when other people see you standing in your power, they immediately have some permission to do that too. Or that when you see your greatness and you can see the greatness in others, they will see the greatness in themselves and they will recognize your greatness. That's two things that can happen, two of many things that can happen. You shining your greatness will trigger someone and repel them And they might repel you because it's too triggering for them, because us living in our power reminds a lot of people that they are not. And they can't be with that because they're not ready for that yet. And that's okay. We don't have to reject them or exile them. We just get to love them in their journey. And then some whom I love, whom you are, is that when you see someone shining, it inspires you to shine too. If she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. We give ourselves permission. It's like breadcrumbs of curiosity, and you're stepping into curiosity. It's like, what is she doing? Where did she get that from? Where is that? How is that possible? I want some of that. Where can I get some of that? Stepping into your leadership paves a way for others. And that's when you get to turn around and bring them on the path with you. That's leadership. All of the other coaching programs within Hearts Unleashed, self-discovery is the first, self-development is the second, self-mastery is the third, and transcendence is the fourth. They all have Hearts Unleashed names, but those are the stages of transformation. And all three other courses are much more about the development of your authentic leadership. Self-discovery, Time to Shine, is about you discovering you, rediscovering you, and peeling layers back. But by the end of this program, you have a much better bearing of who you know yourself to be and a willingness to be that, to be you, unleashed. And so then we say, okay, let's develop that you. Let's master that you. Let's transcend that you by living as an ethereal being on this human plane. As you consider what it comes after Time to Shine, that's what's available to you, is to continue to develop the process, develop the being that you are. As you do that, the next step here is declaring and fulfilling. Through this program, you have built enough power to say, I want that, and to have it. I deserve that. I get to have it. I'm going to go there, and you get there because you're clear about who you are. You're also very clear about who you're not. You're very clear about who you will not be anymore and what you will not do anymore. And there's a little bit of toggling. Think about your age at this moment. You have walked a certain path. You have paved and treaded it over and over and over again. Is a well-beaten path. And so just because you've gone through this transformational program one time over maybe 12 weeks doesn't mean you can immediately reprogram decades worth of walking one path. And so that's where transformation, you start choosing that transformed path more often, more often, more often, more often, and it will become paved. It will become well-tread. It won't have so many leaves grown over it. And that old path might become overgrown and unrecognizable. I can tell you that for darn sure, because if I ever tread the old path, I know it immediately. I just want to encourage you not to get down on yourself if you accidentally catch yourself back on that old path, walking in those old shoes with those old friends and those old beliefs and complaints and whatever else. That's okay. Choose transformation, right? We talked about it. It's about being empowered for longer periods of time and more frequently, but you will have a dip. You will come up against a challenge, and it's okay. That is life, and you get to put your transformation to the test. That's what we're here to do, and to live in leadership. So as you declare and fulfill, you say, you're here, and you say, I'm going to get over here. You might run into a dip, but that doesn't mean you don't keep going. So declare and fulfill. And then when you're living in your leadership and your purpose and your power, you're connecting authentically. You're here with people. You get to meet people for who they are because you've met yourself for who you are. You can only meet people as deeply as you've met yourself. You can only go as far with others as you've gone with yourself. And you can only get as high in life as deep as you've gone into your being, into your heart, into your mind. And so the deeper you go, the higher you climb. And so go there. When you connect authentically with yourself, you can, of course, connect authentically with others. And of course, you can be laughing uncontrollably. It is my own personal measurement of how I'm doing in life, if life is hilariously joyful. It is literally so joyful that all there is to do is laugh about it. The synchronicities, the serendipity, the signs from spirit, the little breadcrumbs along the way, the signs that I'm on the right path. It's so fun. It is so fun to meet the perfect person at the perfect place at the perfect time because I honored my guidance system. I have trained my inner ear and inner eye to hear what there is to hear, to see what there is to see, to say what there is to say, and to be who there is to be. Because I am living my heart unleashed. And at this point in this journey, I know that you are too. I know that you are ready. I know that you are practicing, and I know that you are committed. And if you have made it to this point in this course, I want to deeply acknowledge you for walking the path, for unleashing your heart, for shedding anything that no longer belongs, for releasing anything that is out of alignment. You are on your path. It might not be perfect all of the time. You are on your way. And I promise it gets better, it gets easier, it gets fast, fun, easy, and effortless. So keep walking that path. And if you've arrived at this point, I want to thank you for completing the Time to Shine program. I want to be the first to congratulate you. Yay! Woohoo! If you're doing the digital course, congratulations. Complete any sort of prompting, any sort of journaling that there is to complete. Let us know that you completed. Share all of that. And don't forget to look at what you've created over this course. Be sure to celebrate and acknowledge yourself. And if you're in the Hula program, I look forward to celebrating with you that we have made it to this point in the journey. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for living your heart unleashed. I'll see you later.